So India had elections in the month of May, where the polling happened and the final results were announced on 4th of June. Results were not in line with expectations, and as things stand today, we think there is elevated risk of political stability and continuity in India, and that's likely going to be the case, going forward. Let me elaborate. In 2019, when the elections happened, Bharatiya Janata Party, which is also known as BJP, won 303 seats and was in full majority. This time around in 2024, BJP was only able to secure 241 seats, which was well short of the majority mark. Having said that, National Democratic Alliance, which is the larger alliance of BJP, is still in majority, and our expectation would be that the president of the country should still invite them to form government, but it is not 100% certain at this point. We understand the opposition parties are trying to break away some of the coalition members who have pledged support to Mr. Modi's party. So there is still some uncertainty, out there. Nonetheless, our base case would be that Mr. Modi's party, BJP, should still form government. We think the coalition partners understand that their access to money, power, and stability is far more by being with Mr. Modi than being on the opposition side. So, if you look at the country over the last 5 years, the GDP growth has actually been driven by infrastructure spend, good growth in gross fixed capital formation, while growth in consumption has actually continued to come down. In FY24, in fact, consumption growth was only between 3 to 4%, which is one of the lowest numbers on record. And in part, it is because coming out of COVID, we've seen a K-shaped recovery where folks at the bottom of the pyramid have been struggling and have continued to struggle. There was a lot of loss of savings, which has been hard to rebuild. And that's leading to, lower consumption than maybe what the country has seen in the past. So our expectation is, regardless of whoever comes back to power, we're likely going to see more populist measures with the intent that, it should drive faster consumption going forward. And things like infrastructure spend is likely going to take a little bit of pause, again, compared to what it was in the past. We think the volatility is likely going to continue till there is 100% certainty on who is going to form government. We think it is in Mr. Modi's interest to make sure this process gets done as fast as possible. So our expectation would be that we should see some form of swearing-in ceremony of the new government within the next 1 week, and that should help stabilize the stock market. We expect a change in terms of investment preference away from capex-led sectors and stocks, more in favor of consumption-led stocks. We also think there'll be a far more focus from investors in terms of fundamentals as compared to narratives, which has been driving the stock market. We also think investors are likely going to focus more on quality rather than value, which has been the case for the last few months and quarters. But we still expect the volatility in the mid part of the market, which is small and mid caps, to continue to remain elevated for some time, given the uncertain political backdrop, given the excessive valuations, that this part of the market has, and given the change in, likely themes away from capex-led to maybe more consumption-oriented themes. So we expect mid to continue to be more volatile going forward.